What's going on, guys? It's Little Tiki Torch here, back with another anime review. The one that we're kind of coming out to you with today is going to be 8686. Yes, the newest spring anime out on Crunchyroll. We're only about 2 episodes into that, but before we get into that, let's go ahead and hit that like and sub button for me, please. Just lets me know how I'm doing on these anime videos. Lets me know if I'm keeping track on them too. All right, and let's go ahead and roll that intro real quick. Right, 86. First episode, Undertaker, is the one that it's going to be called. There's 2 episodes, like I was saying. So the way that this anime starts off, right, we have a major who is actually the youngest major in history in this anime. I think she's still a teenager. She ends up becoming major because she's ended up promoted to a squad that's called the Spearhead Squadron. The Spearhead Squadron now is led by Shin, who is also called the Reaper. This guy is... So I guess I should start off by actually really saying who they really are. So the people that are Shin, right, they man these drones that are called Juggernauts, and they're supposed to be unmanned, right? You're like, wait, they're manned, but they're unmanned? Yeah, so apparently if you don't have blue eyes and white hair, you're considered less than or subhuman. You didn't evolve properly, right? So they call them humanoid pigs, and they have an entire book that they teach these teenagers inside this military school, and I guess that they teach their civilians too, that and their citizens, that if you didn't have blue eyes and if you didn't have white hair, you were not human. So they then segregated these people and just totally destroyed their towns and everything after they pushed them there. And so the ones that are left are the ones that are basically manning these squadrons. And Shin is in the 86th zone, and he's the one that leads these guys in basically, well, it's a hopeless war for him and them because they're the ones that are losing all the casualties, right? But because they're not considered human, they're really not being counted as casualties. So inside the city, the citizens, civilians, and all the military leaders and government leaders are all saying to themselves, oh, we've never lost a casualty, so we're winning this war and the other people are not. Meanwhile, there's tons of people that have like lost their lives in like this war because they're fighting these other autonomous drones of a neighboring empire, and that legion are, I think, the only ones that are unmanned and named, but I think they are also piloted by 86ers as well. So I think both sides are really doing that. I think all sides are doing that. They have 5 colors on their flag, and I think that's because they have 5 different neighboring countries or different neighboring empires, and of those neighboring empires they use all the ones that they consider less than subhuman to do these drones. And it's really interesting because you see the fights and everything, how they're going, and I think it's really cool, even though they're using these drones that basically look like they're from what's the anime, Ghost in the Shell. Still looks really cool. The fight scenes are actually pretty dope. The acrobatics that they're using for them, really creative and everything. I really think so. One part that actually reminds me of playing Apex and seeing a Pathfinder get out of a freaking fight. I'm like, God freaking damn it. He's using Pathfinder's ability. What a sneaky little rat. And, and it was a little funny to me. I don't know if that was, I mean, it's definitely a common thing to use a grappling hook, but I just playing too much Apex. But anyway, Shin is obviously, since him being the Reaper and being the leader of the 86ers of that squad of the Spearheads, he is obviously the best guy that they have. This guy is able to predict things and make moves that nobody else can see. But with that, right, comes a bigger responsibility though. He ends up getting into a fight with his squad, not him fighting his squad, but his squad ended up getting into a fight with a legion, and they ended up losing one. And this is after Lena is promoted to their squad, so she's now major and she's in his squad, and she makes good calls, but they feel that the calls that she makes are more of a teacher's pet type answer rather than an answer that you would normally see on the battlefield, which is what you would get from somebody that is in, more often not schooling rather than actually being on battlefield combat experience. So with that, he does say that she makes good decisions and that she's actually going to be really good, but they do lose one, and his name's Cujo. And this is where you really see how Shin is really I think he's struggling a lot. I really do. I think he's struggling internally, and he's just doing everything that he can to keep it so deep down and keep his surface level just so neutral so that he can just get through this. He's got, I think, 129 days left until his service ends. So with him having 129 days left of his service ending, it's because he's already served 5 years. And I think you have to serve about 6 years, and then you're able to be considered a citizen of Magnolia again. Cujo just literally is looking at Shin saying, just remember me and, do what you promised. And Shin takes his life reluctantly, obviously, but he knows that it's better to just end the suffering rather than let him continue suffering and, being afraid of death and everything. So he ends up doing that. He takes a piece of him, not him, but a piece of his armor, and takes it back, carves his name into it. And he's got a whole box of these things, man. I mean, they're teaching these kids that they have no casualties, and oh my gosh, when I saw that box, it just reminded me of Saving Private Ryan when they dump out the freaking when they dump out all the dog tags that were recovered, and they just started playing like checkers with it. I was like, jeez, man, oh, this guy's he's saving everybody right now. It's crazy. But when you see that, you're just like, wow, this guy's just the most human of human. So we learned that he's obviously somebody that doesn't smile much, if ever. I don't think his team has ever seen him smile either, to be honest. And since his team has never seen him smile, I don't know. I guess the significance of seeing him make this grin is a lot more, And Lena was the one that was able to kind of draw that out of him, because she said, is there something that you want to do after this? And he said he doesn't know, but she said that he should start thinking about it. And if he came to a decision, or whatever decision he came to, that she thought that it would be extremely fun. After she said that, he got this little tiny smirk, and the cat that was following him was really funny, because the cat ended up like getting startled by him making this face, this gesture with his mouth, and it got startled. It jumped like a deer in the headlights. It didn't run off or anything, but it just like the hair stood up and everything, and then they calmed down, and the cat was like, even the cat's demeanor kind of changed. It was really strange. But you also saw like the shock and confusion of how the cat was able to see that this person Shin was able to have some sort of happy emotion, not even knowing that this was possible for him. And seeing that, I was like, these guys have never seen this guy smile ever. Not one time. They probably don't even think that he's capable of it, because he's seen so much. The anime just has so much potential. It really does. It has so much potential. I don't think that there's anywhere to go but up from here. I really hope that they continue doing what they're doing with this, because the only way that this messes up, and the only way this anime does not become top 10, because I'm saying it, this anime has potential to do that. We had Attack on Titan that was able to do that right away. And what I noticed by Attack on Titan is that I was able to grow with those characters immediately. That first episode made you grow with those characters immediately, because of the devastation and the trauma that those characters had suffered and that you watched. You were able to grow and make a connection with that, right? They don't need to do that for this one. It doesn't open up like that, but it opens up in a way that you still think to yourself that you have watched this for a lot longer than you really have. And it's really crazy. And it's not in the bad way of where you're like, oh my God, I wish this would end. It's in a way that you're like, this is just the first episode, and I feel like I've been watching this for like 5 episodes already. Like, I feel like I know this character. You know what I mean? Like you feel like you've been through the thing. You've been through it all with them already. You've been through the adventures, the training, all of it. But you haven't. You haven't even seen it yet. But you still feel that way. It's insane. It's crazy. The character development is on point. The visual effects on point. Transitions that we're doing on point. The voice actors on point. The conveying of emotions just by the artwork itself on point. The timing and delivery of everything on point. I mean, I just don't see really too much of a negativity in this anime so far. I really don't. If I were to say that there was something negative, if I really want to just kind of just like pick something, okay, biggest thing I didn't like would be how they do the intro, intermission, ending credits, outro. How they do that, right? So they do this really weird thing to where it's, if they leave it on a cliffhanger, right? Obviously episode 1 they can't do that. They're just gonna open up with the anime and then segue into the intro, right? With the second episode, you get the intro normal, and then you segue into where you left off, but then you go like maybe 10 minutes and then you get the intermission. They maybe go about 5 or 6 minutes and then you get the end credits. And I was like, wait, did it end? And then I had to hover over the bar and I was like, oh no, there's another 10 minutes. I was like, dude, why didn't you just freaking go and just make this one thing so I don't have to like go back and unimmerse myself and just, you know what I mean? It ruins the immersion if you do that. I mean, I guess if you're trying to get kind of like fancy with it, cool, but I don't know. To me, that was probably the only thing that I'd say. You know, other than that, again, anime has so much potential. I don't know. Let me know down in the comment sections below what you think of, if there was anything that you could pick out that was negative, and let me know about what you think of how they do those little intro, outro, ending credit, cutscene type things that they're doing. They kind of, you know, throw you for a loop. They throw me for a loop. I don't know, but I'm kind of dumb. So, but anyway, go ahead and hit that like if you liked it, man. I really hope you guys did. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, thank you so much. If you did make it this far, I do have another video that's coming out of older anime, but a different style of anime that you probably haven't seen yet, and I think it's slept on. So great story to it as well. But other than that, like and subscribe, guys. Hope to see you in the next one. Peace.